This is the plaintiff, Paula. She says she and the defendant have been friends since the 4th grade. And when she needed a place to stay during her divorce, she let her move into her home. Unfortunately, the woman brought bed bugs with her. She infested her home with them, then turned around and stole $6,000 from her and was arrested. They are clearly friends no more. She had to get an expensive exterminator. She had to throw away her furniture, and she's here suing her former friend for the $5,000 she's now owed. This is the defendant, Michelle. She says she moved in with the plaintiff to help her with her dog-sitting business. One of her customers brought the bugs into her house. That's when her longtime friend turned evil. That's right, her personality changed. She lied to the cops and got her arrested for stealing. And this woman has some darn nerve suing her because she's the one who's owed money, certainly not the plaintiff. She's accused of bugging out a friend. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $3,370 for stolen property and an illegal eviction.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says the defendant is a childhood friend who was going through hard times, so she moves in with her and brings in bed bugs. The defendant says she moved in to help her with her dog-sitting business, and a customer brought the bed bugs in. It's the case of you bite worse than the bed bugs.
Thank you, Douglas. Paula, Michelle, how long have you known each other, Paula?
I met Michelle in the 4th grade.
And were you good friends back then?
Yeah, we were best friends.
How long did you remain best friends before life takes you in your own ways?
Until our mid-20s.
And then you reconnected recently?
Yeah, on and off through the years. And then Michelle reached out to me in June of 2018 on Facebook.
All right. And then at some point, the decision is made that she's going to move into your place. How did that decision get made?
She spent the month of July on and off at my home. She lived in a 1-bedroom studio apartment, and the 2nd or 3rd week of July, she told me that her lease was ending on July 31st, and would I consider renting out an extra bedroom to her month to month.
So you say yes. Do you live alone, or anybody else live with you?
I live alone. I own a home.
Okay, so you say yes, and then the plan was she would move in when?
On August 1st.
And does she?
Yes, she moved in on August 1st. So through the month of July, let me backtrack. Through the month of July, because she was staying with me so often, I let her move her clothes, some of her clothes and her personal belongings. When we did the final walkthrough with the landlord, Michelle...
You were there for that?
Mm-hmm. And Michelle asked about getting her security deposit back. And the landlord said, well, no, Michelle, you've been here for 8 months, and we had to treat your apartment twice during those 8 months for bed bugs. And I was like, you had to do what? So I asked the landlord about it, and they explained to me everything that happened. And
what was it that happened?
I had no idea there were bed bugs in that building. I had no idea.
Right, but there was bed bug infestation and while you were living there.
No, I didn't have anything.
I'm sorry.
Like that.
Did she just make up that whole conversation with the landlord?
The landlord did say bed bugs, but I didn't know that beforehand. Before bringing my things to Paula's house, I found out that day that I moved out with the walk.
That's the day you find out that you had bed bugs in the apartment?
Mm-hmm.
You know, bed bugs are pesky little critters that make their presence known. Yeah. You're scratching just happens to me all the time. Happens to me in every bed bug case. In 2 seconds, I'm going to start scratching. Okay, so what ends up happening? You don't reconsider having her live with you?
No, I
just think it's one of those things. All right, so she moves in, and what happens?
Well, what I did was I immediately called an exterminator.
And what'd they find?
And they found that in the room that Michelle had been staying in for that month of July, that the mattress, the bed frame, the dresser that she had put her clothes in, the closet, there were bed bugs in that.
May I see the report that says that?
Yes. Thankfully, they did not find them in my room. And
so did they spray that room?
They actually had to spray the entire home, because if you miss one, then it starts all over. So the procedure is that they spray it once, they come in 2 weeks, they spray it again.
$1,431. So now, why are you suing for a bedroom set, a new mattress, and laundry? Let's go over that.
Okay, so when they looked in the drawers and everything.
You're talking about the bedroom set that's in the spare bedroom?
Yep, only the bedroom set.
Okay, do you have pictures of that? And why wouldn't a $1,500 extermination take care of it? Why would you have to throw that out?
Because there's no way to be 100% sure that they
Says who?
The exterminator.
Do you have that in writing from the exterminator that you couldn't keep the furniture?
I do not have that in writing.
Do you have a picture of the furniture that you threw out?
You know, I do have a picture of it on my phone, and I'm sorry, that was the only thing we couldn't
Do you have
get
it on
to
your
come
phone?
through. Yes,
that's fine. Let me see it on your phone.
It would.
Yep.
Let me see.
What proof do you have that the value of the mattress you threw out was $1,300?
The mattress, actually, they were more. I don't have receipts for that.
Do you have any proof of your case where you want $1,300 for the value of a mattress you threw out?
No,
yes
I don't
or no?
have any
Do you have a
receipts.
picture of the mattress? Yes or no?
I don't.
Did you find a picture of the furniture?
No, I have to look for this.
Okay,
I'm
you
so sorry.
go ahead and look at that, and I want to
Yes.
give the floor to you a second.
Okay, good.
So you move in there.
If I can explain to you what was going on. She has a dog sitting business, so she has a lot of traffic in and out of her home. Also, her...
I'm sorry, weren't all the bed bugs found in the room you were occupying?
They were in the house. In the house, they had to do the whole house.
No, I know they did the whole house, but all the actual bed bugs found were in your room.
No, they
Right?
were all just in my room. They were in her room, and the room that her nephew was sleeping in, and he was coming in and out of the house.
How long after your landlord said, you're not getting your security deposit back because you owe me rent and because you brought bed bugs here, was that?
It was August.
It was August 22nd was the date of service.
But I legally lived there from August 1st till she threw me out. I believe it was the 9th.
Let's talk about the throwing out.
Okay. I have
What
at
is your
least-
version of why she threw you out?
She accused me of stealing from her, which of course I never did that.
Stealing what?
She said jewelry and money. I had a public defender in Rochester, and if I could have afforded to defend myself with a regular attorney, I wouldn't.
A real attorney?
I mean, yeah.
Is that right? No, but that's not true.
Okay.
Some of the best lawyers I was a prosecutor for 10 years, and some of the best lawyers I ever litigated, virtually all of the best lawyers I ever litigated against were public defenders. So I don't are you going to explain why you pled guilty? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So
Because-
you pled guilty to stealing how much money?
She said it was $6,000.
Okay.
Absolutely not. I didn't steal anything. I never stole in my
But
life.
is that why she threw you out?
I don't know exactly what the reason was. Because
Okay.
this
According
all
to you,
happened
what was the
after.
reason you threw her out?
August 7th, my 18-year-old cousin was at my home, and she went to go and get some lemonade out of my refrigerator. I had a box with lemonade in it, and mini whiskey bottles fell out of the lemonade, and my cousin turned to me and is, "What do you start drinking now?" And the only other person that lived there was Michelle, and I called Michelle in the house and I said, "What are you doing? Are you hiding alcohol around my home?" And she said, "Okay, listen, I'm not going to lie to you. I need to confess to you. I have a problem with alcohol and I needed to get something." And I just said, I just can't do this. I go, too much has happened in this short period of time. And I
So
said,
you drove her to the hospital.
so she told me to take her to the hospital, which was
And did
just
you
down
check
the
into
street.
the hospital?
Yes, she drove me there, and this is my story.
What did you tell the hospital?
She was doing all the talking, okay?
What did she tell the hospital?
She told the hospital that she thought I was going crazy and for mental evaluation. She called the police to escort me into the hospital. All these police officers, and they checked me at the hospital and they released me. When I got out of the hospital, I called her. She said, "Are you at my house?" She said, you can't go back there. I said, I have all my belongings.
So do you go right back to the house?
Yes, I did. All I could take was 2 suitcases.
Do you end up coming back to the house again?
Yes, she told me I could come back and get some things.
Okay, so when you come back that second time, what do you get? Because you have a counterclaim against her claiming that there's all kinds of stuff you left behind of value.
Yes.
So you go back a second time, and what do you get?
She had me arrested. The first time, she coerced me into signing these papers.
That's the first time?
That was the first time.
Okay,
But
let's talk about the papers.
Okay.
Let me see the papers she had you sign.
That's the lawyer, my lawyer.
Anything else?
I gotta relive this in my head. Okay.
So she gives you some papers, and she makes you sign them how?
There's a reason.
Right.
I was up for 2 days. I was walking the street. I was down at the beach. I had to sleep in the church, garden.
Are you an alcoholic?
No, she claims that I am.
I'm asking you.
Yeah, and for
Do
instance.
you drink?
Occasionally.
Do you have blackouts when you drink?
No. No, I don't drink excessively like that, no.
So according to you, you're sleeping on the streets and you're sleep deprived, and that's how she made you sign these?
No, I signed the one paper. She hid the other ones. I didn't even see
You
those
signed
papers.
the one paper with your signature says everything above is true. What did you think you were signing?
I didn't see anything. I thought I was signing to get my belongings back.
I hereby acknowledge the above is true and factual, and I accept accountability and all responsibility financially and otherwise associated with my actions listed above.
Never saw that.
That's not signing for your documents. Well, no, that's the page that has your signature.
Oh, yeah.
I am signing this freely and free of pressure to do so. You actually took a video of her signing it.
Okay, so yeah, that was her reading it.
Yeah, okay.
Then the
And
phone
then you have
rings.
this.
And then that's her, after she read it, signing it. Like, there should be
and
audio
the
on
question
there.
is, what's it? She's claiming that she did not know about this 2-page confession you have her sign.
I think you
that
can-
wasn't with it.
If
That's
you
what
look
she's
at
claiming.
it, I think you can tell how many pages are there.
There's tons of pages here. Okay, you look very peacefully looking through papers and signing. Why am I to believe that you were coerced into signing anything?
As I said, I was up for 2 days, 2 nights, sleeping
That's
outside.
not her coercing you. You're
Well-
saying you regret signing it. That's different.
Well-
According to the police report, here's what happens. You go back in there at a time you're not allowed to. You are this is the statement that you end up signing, which I presume was part of the evidence against you in the criminal case. You end up signing a statement saying that let me not paraphrase, let me read right through it. I saw rings and took them, but planned to give them back when she gave me my belongings back from outside. I couldn't find my license and DSS card and knew what's DSS card?
It's a government check that I get
For
each
what?
month. For
Is there a disability?
bipolar.
I took it just because I needed it. I was homeless, but I was going to give it back. She knew it would be before winter. I let her know I was sorry for everything with a note. You actually left a note saying you're sorry
I
for
want to see
everything.
the note. That I need to see because I never signed anything.
Well, it was part of your criminal case, wasn't it?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean I did it. I couldn't
So
defend
you saw
myself.
it in the criminal case, didn't you?
I haven't gone to court yet
For what?
for the plea deal I had to take.
Didn't you already plead guilty?
Yes. I pled guilty, but I'm not done with court yet.
You're not sentenced yet?
No, I'm not.
What's going on with the criminal case?
I have to go back on the second.
And part of what you agreed to was to repay the money that, according to the state, your plea of guilty and the plaintiff, you took. When does she end up getting arrested by the police? After signing these documents?
Yeah, she signed the documents on the
So when you had her sign the documents and then you called the police?
Why is it that when good friends move in together, they become enemies?
Because they get exposed to each other's bad habits.
What do you say?
No, I agree with that.
Familiarity breeds contempt?
Yeah.
Words to live by going inside the courtroom.
I actually called the police on the 8th when she was on my property.
This is a video of
her
the
being
police
arrested
arresting her.
on the
Is this the
14th.
same day she signs the documents?
Nope. She signed.
What day are the police arresting her?
They're arresting her on the 14th.
Why is she back at your house?
Because she was unable to take all of her stuff
So did you let her in on the 14th?
into the backyard where her stuff was on the 14th, yes.
Did you let her into the house to get,
She was
according to
never-
her,
she
she
was
has
never-
a bunch of furniture and antique furniture and all this other stuff? Did she ever bring any?
No.
According to her, she left an antique table, a flat screen TV, 4 heirloom china dolls worth $400, 2 bracelets.
I actually have something.
Did she leave anything in your house?
No.
Tell me about the sliding door you're suing for. What happened with the sliding door?
Michelle was staying with me in July, and she told me that she felt dizzy and passed out and fell against the sliding glass door.
This is a sliding glass door that's what, a
I'm sorry,
closet?
it's a closet mirrored door.
Okay, do you have a picture of that?
I do.
Did you fall against the mirrored closet?
No, I did not.
When did that happen?
That happened, it was either late June or early July.
Do you have any evidence to support that it cost $247?
I do. I handed it to him.
Okay. So what you have is the replacement cost at Home Depot, correct?
Correct.
That's the $247, right?
Correct.
What is $550 for laundry, which you upped from $350 originally? What is that?
What it was is what, it's probably a lot less than what it cost. I had to take everything from her room, all towels, everything that was in the house had to go and be laundered and bagged.
Can I please see proof of $550 in laundry bills?
I don't
All right,
have
how do you
that.
think I'm going to award it to you if you're not even going to prove it to me?
I mean,
Okay.
it's quarters at a laundromat.
Yeah, okay,
so.
okay. And then what's your proof of the cost of a new mattress? And did you ever find the picture you wanted to show
No,
me?
I didn't find them.
Okay, so you have no evidence of the bedroom set that you threw out. You have no evidence of the mattress. Now, you have, and what's good for the goose is good for the gander, you have no evidence of having left any of this stuff in there. On your counterclaim against her, I find that you're unable to prove entitlement to $3,370 in missing items. On her claim against you, I find in her favor in the amount of the extermination bill of $1,431. And I have to tell you, this is one of the first times I've found that. Because usually when bed bugs happen and everybody's pointing the finger at each other, the only ones who know where they came from are the bed bugs, and the bed bugs don't talk. But in your case, you actually have an issue in the last apartment, and I think that that's different. Plus the mirror, which is, quite frankly, candidly, classic evidence of that you have a problem that needs to be addressed.
All right.
And you cannot listen to me. Forget about all this stuff. All this is about stuff. You got to take care of yourself, all right? And you got to make some changes, and the changes, you cannot have, I'm sure that I won't be the first person to tell you that alcohol and your diagnosis are not the best idea, right?
I don't drink heavily. I don't.
Okay, you just shouldn't drink at all because your opinion, because the mirror is kind of the evidence of that. Kind of the evidence of that.
Okay,
I find it, we're done.
Okay.
I find in favor of the plaintiff, not in the amount she's asking for, but in the amount of the exterminator bill and the mirror, $1,678. Any restitution for stolen money was handled and is being handled in the criminal case and is not part of this lawsuit. Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, Doug's in the hallway with the litigants.
So the plaintiff is going to get $1,670 back. Michelle, I know this is a very unpleasant experience
Yes,
for you
it
here.
is.
Do you have anything you want to say?
Just that she did it again. She wanted money, and now she's getting it. It's not true. All the things that she did to me, kicking me out of the home and everything. I didn't bring any bugs in that house. I never. She
Well-
had dogs coming in and out, people. Her nephew.
There was enough evidence to convince the judge that that's right. Are you one of her friends who's helping her?
Yes, sir, I am.
Going to try and help her? Keep her?
Oh, yes, sir. That's my reason for living.
Okay, good luck. Good luck
you.
to you,
Thank you.
Michelle.
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you very much. Paula is on her way out of the courtroom. I memean, kind of a strange story of a friendship
Yeah.
that began
Yeah.
like 100 years ago,
Yes,
right?
yes,
A long time ago.
yes.
It's unfortunate.
It is very unfortunate. So,
And it's still going on, court cases. Are you involved in that? The court case?
yeah, the criminal case
Yeah.
still, yes. It's sad.
You glad this is almost over?
I'm glad it's almost over. I mean, it's bittersweet because I want her to be the Michelle that I knew, you know, when I was 10, when I was 20, when I was 30, and I want her to get the help that she needs, and it's not really a monetary thing. But
hopefully she can. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. You're very welcome. Thank you. Harvey?
You know, Doug, the judge gave the defendant some life advice at the end, and that really is what it's all about, where people can walk out better people.
This is the plaintiff, Nicole Carter. She says she and the defendant have been friends for 10 years, and they're definitely friends no more. That's right. The defendant stole $846.44 from her through a PayPal scam. She can't believe her one-time friend would do something like that to her, and she's suing here and now for the money she stole. This is the defendant, Quadisha Jones. She says she has no idea what the problem is with the plaintiff and her PayPal account. She in no way stole money from the plaintiff. She can't believe the plaintiff's suing her today. And once the facts come out, she fully expects the judge to rule in her favor, not the plaintiff's. She's accused of failing a friend.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. These litigants were friends for a decade until the defendant stole more than $800 from the plaintiff through a PayPal scam. The defendant says she's innocent. It's the case of you ain't my pal.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Ms. Carter, how long have you known Ms. Jones?
For about 10 years.
Now, the two of you had some kind of falling out?
Yes.
What was the falling out about?
It was a personal matter between me and my step-family.
Love personal matters. Go ahead, what?
About me and my step-family.
Okay, how long ago did you have that falling out?
About 6 years ago.
Oh, so you haven't talked to each other. You hadn't talked to each other for a long time.
Yes.
6 years.
6 years.
How bad was it that you wouldn't talk to each other?
She was considered my best friend. I named her as my daughter's godmother, and I couldn't trust her anymore.
Because she did what?
She had me on a 3-way phone call with my stepmother, and I did something, and it just went.
What did you do?
We was on the phone together, and she had my stepmother on 3-way, so I was talking to her about the situation, what happened.
Oh, so the stepmother was the one who was spying on your conversation.
Yes.
I got you. So you felt like you couldn't trust her anymore.
Yes, that's
So it was the stepmother who you didn't know was listening?
Yes.
Got it. All right. So you don't talk to her for 6 years, and what happens?
And I guess we decided to talk again. I think I inboxed her. She inboxed me on Facebook maybe 3 years after the fact. And we tried to just, be cool again, for the kids. Our kids was missing each other and things like that. So
Would you actually see each other?
Yeah, we would.
Okay. So then one fine day, she contacts you and she says, what about PayPal?
She sends me a message saying that she sent me money. Sorry I didn't tell you, but can you send it back to me? I was like, okay.
Wait. Why would she sent you money how?
Via PayPal.
Okay.
And she asked me to send it back on Cash App. I have the documentation.
Okay, I'm sorry. Stop. This doesn't sound fishy to you?
It didn't, because she asked me to do that before. Something was wrong with her card, so I did it with no problem.
So she sends you PayPal.
Yes, and she asked me to
send it. And then she wants you to send her Cash App. Why don't she just go to the bank and get her money?
True.
Exactly. So why would you do any of what you're doing even another time? Why would you do it?
Because I didn't mind it. It was like a small favor. She asked me, she has 3 kids. So I was like, okay, you need me to do your favor? It's no problem.
The last time you did it, how much was the amount?
I think it was like $30. I don't really have that.
Okay, but this time it was $846.44?
Yes, 2 different payments. One for $640, one for $206.
Okay. So what happens, my dear?
I sent it through Cash App with no problem. 2 weeks later, on the 17th of July, I get a notification from PayPal saying that she stated that the payment was unauthorized, that she never sent the money to me.
Oh, so that they would not send you the 800 and something?
Yes.
So that means that she would just steal the $846.44 from you?
Yes, but it was her money to begin with.
So my question to you is, do you have anything from PayPal showing what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what is going on here? Your PayPal is connected to what, your bank account?
No, you don't necessarily have to connect PayPal to your bank account.
No, you could connect it to a credit card.
You can, or you could just have it in PayPal. Someone sent me the payment. The first time I sent Nicole money, it was for $100, and then it was for like around $50.
What about this time? What's the story with this time?
This time I received the money, and I sent her $622. And this was from me doing work, doing hair and daycare stuff that I do. Someone sent it to me through PayPal. You could pay a person through PayPal. That's how I got paid. So I sent it to Nicole. I said, listen, I cannot get this money out of my PayPal, but I need it ASAP. I can't get out right now, so I need
Okay, but the money you sent Nicole came from your PayPal account, right?
Yes.
Okay, tell me the two amounts. Do you have your PayPal account in your phone?
I don't have the PayPal on the phone because the first phone that I had, it got water damage.
Do you know your PayPal account number?
No, because usually you don't have to put it in. It automatically signs you in.
So
With
right
your
now,
finger.
as we're talking, you can't access your PayPal account?
I can't log into it because I don't know the PIN. Yeah, I tried to get a new PIN, but it was just a whole bunch.
Oh, and you got sued, and you haven't bothered to get a new PIN so that we can access your account and figure out what on earth is going on? What I need to do is get into your PayPal account now to see if you made a claim to get that money returned. Then case over. Or I'll see that you never made a claim because you're swearing under oath that you never made a claim. All I've got to do, easy peasy case, log into your PayPal account. Oh, but you can't because I didn't bother to get a PIN. Something that takes 32 seconds before showing up to court.
Is using PayPal dangerous?
Yeah, it can be. You need to know who you're selling.
What do you say?
I think that it's up to the person to have discretion against like who you're sharing money
But is
with.
it dicey?
I think it can be.
Yeah. Going inside the courtroom.
PayPal balance.
You have to call them.
This shows that you are out $862. We are writing to let you know one of your buyers opened a case for this transaction. Kadisha Jones, buyer's email, buyer's transaction ID. That's the 64034 and the 20610. So she's got the evidence from PayPal on July 17th that PayPal says you did just that. And you've got no evidence to contradict this, right?
Well, I could try to log in because I never claimed
Yeah, try to log in. Because PayPal is telling her that you not only once, but twice reversed the money. So log in. Try to log in.
I would never dispute the
Try
money.
to log in. I don't want to hear your flapping gums. You told me I would never dispute, and yet I see evidence that you did. So now prove PayPal wrong, and let's look at your account.
They're sending me a code. Hold on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And I thought it was going to take a whole 32 seconds.
Should probably figure it out.
So this is your account?
Yes.
Oh, look at that. July 3rd, canceled. Nicole Carter. How did that happen?
I never canceled it. PayPal must have canceled it.
PayPal doesn't go around canceling your payments unless you ask them to.
They does that.
Canceled, request sent.
I never put in a request.
Well, it sure looks like you did because it's right in here.
PayPal does that if it's something wrong with the other person.
Oh, well, then I'm sure that when your friend called you and told you this, that you said, oh, for the love of God, let me get to the bottom of it.
That's what I said.
Yeah, so did you? Did you
Yeah,
tell?
yes, I called
So
them.
did you tell PayPal send the money back?
I called them. They said it must be something wrong with her card on her end because
There's no problem
they
on
said
her
they,
side.
They said they didn't
Can I ask you
cancel
a
it.
question? Are your brain cells connected?
Yes.
Do you think I'm going to buy what you're saying? Do you understand that I know exactly where you're coming from? Do you understand that in all this time, from July to October, you would have had a million opportunities to call PayPal and fix it? I am looking not only at her end, where they say that you pulled the money back. I am looking at your end, where I see that you pulled the money back. So if it's some big mistake, all you had to do to not look like a complete jerk right now is fix the mistake. What you do instead is you make her sue you, and then you come in here, I don't have my pen, and I don't know, because I would need a pen. The evidence is right there that you pulled it back. But here's the thing. If you didn't pull it back and magically PayPal is going around with pixie dust, just canceling different contracts that they feel like doing in order to stymie commerce in America, if that's what happened, you've had 4 months to fix it, and you haven't. So I see that the money never left your account or came back to your account. So guess what? Pay the lady and learn how to do math, because her math is correct. $846.44. You are a miserable friend and a terrible auntie and godmother to her child.
So the plaintiff is going to get her money back, Ms. Jones. You just got the wrath of the judge, you know? What are you thinking? How you feel? Not too good. Not too good. Well, obviously you feel better at this point.
Yeah, I feel a little better, yes. Because I thought she was a friend. I trusted her, and clearly, you can't be friends with somebody who done you wrong in the past. That's what I learned from today.
Well, you learned a valuable lesson.
Definitely.
Okay, good enough. Thank you very much. Good thing you sued her.
Yes.
Yeah, no kidding. Harvey?
You know, a lot of times we talk about there's got to be reconciliation after these judgments, but sometimes it is just right to cut the cord, and frankly, that's what the plaintiff in this case should do.
This is the plaintiff, Hy-Vee Cividil. He says he and the defendant agreed to share a vehicle, and unbeknownst to him, the guy was a scofflaw who had $1,800 worth of unpaid tickets. The car ended up getting towed and was impounded. Since the fines weren't paid, the car was sold off, and the defendant is fully responsible. And he is owed $4,884.79, the value of the car plus fees. This is the defendant, John Delgado. He says the plaintiff's license was suspended, and he couldn't drive his car, so the guy registered it in his name. The plaintiff, in fact, coaxed him into registering it for him. He told the plaintiff he had prior tickets. He didn't seem to care at the time, and here they are. He's accused of letting a friend down. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $4,600 for missing soccer equipment.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says he and a friend shared a car, but the defendant got lots of tickets and the car got towed. The defendant says the plaintiff knew about the tickets and did it because the plaintiff couldn't register the car in his name. It's the case of your ticket to small claims court.
Mr. Cividil, you are suing John Delgado for $4,884.79, the value of a car plus all of your expenses that, according to you, got towed thanks to him. You are counterclaiming $4,600, the value of soccer equipment that was in it when it got towed, and your lost profits because you couldn't work because his car got towed. Okay, what happened?
Your Honor, around March 2015, I approached John Delgado about registering my car because I was in the middle of taking an LSAT exam. I know at that time...
Why does he have to register your car? Because you're in the middle of taking your law school entrance exam.
I didn't have use to the car. I didn't need it. I was going to be moving around for about 3 months or so. And I knew that with his being out of work at the time and he had 2 young kids, it was the middle of winter. I figured if he took the car, it would benefit him.
What was in it for you?
Well, it would keep my car from sitting on the street in the middle of winter.
So because you were studying for the law school entrance exam, and only because you were studying for the law school, you wanted someone driving your car around so it wouldn't just be sitting out there? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, and plus it could help him out with his family.
There was nothing in it for you, and because you're so kind that you wanted to help him out. Was your license suspended?
No, it wasn't, not at the time.
Was your license ever suspended?
It didn't get suspended until June of 2015.
It didn't get, did you know it was going to get suspended?
No, I did not.
What was it suspended for?
I had a DUI.
Well, then how did you not know it was going to get suspended? That's part of the penalty for the DUI.
I hadn't got the judgment. The judgment isn't going to be rendered until November 12th.
What was your reason for registering your own car in some other guy's name?
I wanted to help him out. He's a friend of mine. I've been knowing him for a long time.
What was the reason that he told you that he wanted to register his car in your name? Because I have been at this a long time, and people don't usually do it because they're just so generous. Is he your boyfriend?
No.
Okay. What reasoning did he give you for proposing this?
That he was unable to register a car because of his license. And I know through New York State, you cannot register a vehicle if you have a suspended or revoked license.
So he knew this was coming up, and he wanted to be able to keep the car on the road. So then what happens? You pick him, and how do you pick him?
I've been knowing him for a long time. We used to live in the same apartment building. I was the godfather to his daughters, and I knew that I wasn't going to be driving. So I suggested to him, John, take the car, get to work, drive your kids to school, and when the winter's over, my license is cleared up.
Were you two close friends?
At one time, yes.
So when you decide to do that, why do you do it? What's in it for you?
I mentioned to Mr. Cividil that...
The fact that you could use the car? Is that what was in it for you?
That I could use the vehicle to get to different locations for my coaching. It was an opportunity for me to get a promotion.
What kind of coaching?
It's coaching soccer.
All right, so now you put it in his name, and do you guys ever, apparently you had tons of unpaid tickets.
Yes.
Yeah, so you're like the last guy who anybody should be putting their car in their name. Did you tell him you had unpaid tickets?
Yes.
Did you tell him how many?
Yes.
What did you tell him exactly?
I mentioned to him that I had outstanding tickets, maybe upwards of $1,300.
Okay, did he tell you that?
Absolutely not, Your Honor.
What did he tell you?
He said, I have one ticket that's due in New Rochelle because he had a prior car that got towed. It was for $80.
So how many tickets did he tell you he had due?
One for $80 in New Rochelle, which we went and paid on the 6th
Are there
of
any
April.
texts between the two of you talking about this one ticket? Or how many tickets?
No.
Did you have a handle on how many tickets you had?
Well,
because I can't
knew how
imagine that if a guy is trying to propose this to you and you say, oh, I got thousands of dollars in tickets, I imagine he's going to go to the next guy. That's kind of what no, don't thank me, because what you're doing is disgusting. You're not supposed to register your car in somebody else's name. If your license is suspended, suck it up, and then you just go through your suspension, and you can't drive your car during the suspension. That's the idea. But I can't imagine that someone who's maneuvering and canoodling behind the scenes to try to fix things the way he wants them is going to say, oh yeah, no, you're still my guy. Thousands of dollars in tickets, you're still my guy. I just can't imagine that.
So I mentioned to him that I had the
He's gonna
tickets.
ignore me. Just going to ignore everything I just said.
$1,300.
Why would anybody, if you told them that you had $1,300 of unpaid tickets, say, I still want you to register the car in your name? You know what happens when you have unpaid tickets, right? Eventually, they're going to impound your car, right?
Yes.
Okay. See, what it seems to me is that maybe you weren't totally honest about how many tickets you had.
I did tell him how many tickets I had.
You told him you had $1,300 in tickets.
Yes. We called the DMV to find out if the previous tickets would hold up a registration of a vehicle under my name. DMV said no.
No, why would it hold it up? Are you kidding me? Now they got an asset to pay the tickets.
Okay.
They can't wait. Go, but register away. Boom, and how long did that last? How long after it was registered in his name?
5 days, Your Honor.
5 days. Yeah, man. That's kind of asking the fox, are you going to eat me? You can't, come on. So 5 days, and how come? What'd you do? Was the car in your, did you park the car when it was towed?
No, he parked the car.
He parked the car.
On April 17th.
Is that accurate?
No, ma'am, it's not.
According to you, he had possession.
Yes, ma'am.
And according to you, he parked it inappropriately.
Yes.
Where was the car towed from? Because one of you is a bold-faced liar.
It was not parked inappropriately.
Well, how do you know where it was parked if he was the guy who parked it?
Because I went to talk to him about the car, asked him where it was. I went there. He said, it's over there. I went there. The car was booted, and it had a notice on it. I took the notice off. I called the marshals. They said, this Mr. Delgado has $1,800 worth of tickets.
$1,800?
$1,800. And as of this day, April the 23rd, the fees at that time were up to $2,200.
You know how hard you have to work to get $1,800 of unpaid tickets?
I would love to explain it if...
Yeah, I'm dying to know how you got $1,800 of unpaid tickets and let a guy put his car in your name. Go ahead.
These tickets that I got were in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
And out of the 10 tickets that were outstanding...
10 tickets outstanding. Did you hear the
ma'am.
gasp? Did you hear the collective gasp in the audience behind you? Go ahead.
Yeah, I heard it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Out of the 10 tickets, 8 of them are for a inspection sticker that had expired.
Geez, maybe you should have gotten the inspection sticker, because apparently they count as tickets.
Probably.
Yeah.
I probably should have done something about it.
I went to this is from your answer to the complaint. I went to various DMVs to get information on if there would be a hold on my registration.
Mm-hmm.
The DMV of New York City said I could register the car, but I needed to have release forms for the previous car. So I went to New Rochelle, where my car was previously registered, to have my plates released. So apparently, you're doing all this before or after you put the car in your name? This is before.
This is before. We both went to New Rochelle, and here's the receipt to release my tickets.
Did you go to a DMV in New Rochelle to have him release plates and all that?
To get his release of his license.
So you knew that there were all these, you know that there's issues.
That's not true. We went to New Rochelle because the car that he owned before he got my car was the one they towed.
Yeah, but why did you need a release?
Because he couldn't register my car.
Ah, okay. What efforts did you take in order to find out what tickets he had?
I asked him, and that was it.
And that was it. All right. So what ends up happening? The car ends up getting booted, and then he has to pay his tickets.
No.
But he doesn't have the money to pay his tickets.
No, the car got booted, towed, and auctioned.
And therefore, $1,800 cost you $4,600, because now you are suing for what? You're suing for what you say is the Kelley Blue Book value of your car.
Yes.
What's travel expenses?
I spent $126 per month of Metro cards after my car got towed.
And they're for what? He's got to pay for your transportation for the rest of your life? Like, when do you have to do something? Registration, title, and plate fee, insurance, license. What's a license release fee? The $80 that you paid, that you told me about a newer shell for him?
Yes.
And what's $37 inspection?
That's the inspections for the state of New York. I have the receipt.
And why is he going to pay that? You mean you want every penny you ever put in your car back?
Yes.
Basically? Oh, okay. You know the Blue Book value for your car is $1,000, right?
Excuse me?
The Blue Book value for your car is $1,000, not $3,000. Where did you get $3,000?
That's the estimate I got.
Oh, let me see it.
I don't have it on paper.
Ah, okay. Well, why don't you just say $10,000? Now, your counterclaim against him, $3,100, $1,400 in soccer equipment. Tell me about that. You said earlier that he was using the car that day. So why is your soccer equipment in there if that's your job and you need it? Maybe you were the one who parked it that day.
April 20th is actually a Wednesday. So I worked the weekend before that.
And then you gave the car back to him with $1,400 worth of someone else's equipment?
We're sharing the vehicle, so I had no reason to believe that the equipment in the vehicle would be
Okay,
taken.
so tell me your version. You're not suing him because the city took it. You're suing him because you think he has it?
Yes.
How do you know? Did he ever tell you he had the soccer equipment?
No, he did not tell me.
Did he tell somebody else he had the soccer equipment?
Yes, he did.
Who did he tell?
He mentioned to the owners of the soccer organization that he had the merchandise.
Do you have an affidavit from them?
The only thing I have is an email sent from the owner.
Okay, let me see that. Did you not know that when you have $1,800 in unpaid tickets, the city's going to boot you and tow you?
No, I didn't.
And impound
I didn't
you?
realize that. No.
Seriously?
Seriously, I did not realize that.
I spoke to the gentleman on the phone, and he told me he had the equipment, and he would return the equipment to us if we gave him his money. How did you have the equipment?
I didn't have the equipment.
But did you say you did?
No, I didn't. I told him I knew the equipment was being in the car, which was towed.
Yeah, that's not what the guy says. I mean, that's what's natural, is that the equipment was in the car, is towed. Let me ask you a question. If the equipment's all in the trunk from the weekend, why don't you go to the trunk and get the equipment out?
There's no reason for me to remove the equipment out of the car because...
Is there any reason for you to do anything that's sane? No reason. Why would we worry?
I'm dealing with someone who I trusted at that
And
at
what,
that time.
you thought he would pony up the $1,800?
No, I did not. I'm just trying to explain my
I don't care
side
how
of
many
the
times you try
story.
to explain. I'm not getting answers to the questions that I think are pertinent.
Okay.
I don't want to just hear you talk.
No
You
problem.
think I want to just hear you talk? You
No,
know
ma'am.
you have $1,800 in tickets. And then your answer for why you didn't get the soccer stuff out of the trunk is because you thought you were dealing with someone you could trust. I don't even know what that means. There's a boot on it. The city of New York is taken over. There's a boot on it. It's not his boot. So how is it that you don't, with the car right there and $1,400, they should fire you. Of course they fired you because they never got the equipment back. Did they ever file a police report? If it's true that he said, I got it, and I'm not returning it until you guys pay for my car, soccer team, then how come this guy doesn't call the police right away and file a police report?
I'm glad you asked me that.
Are you?
Yes.
Because what's the answer? Did somebody file a police report?
I went to the police department. I said that my car was booted at this location, and when I went to it, some soccer equipment that I had there that I used for my classes is not there. They said, well, what happened?
Not where?
Not in the vehicle.
Wait, did you go to the impound lot and they let you search the vehicle?
Yes, I
Okay,
have the
and then
receipt
when
for
you
that.
went, there was no soccer equipment.
The only thing that was in the vehicle was this blue billfold I have for the insurance card, some other papers.
Did they tell you
a
that
shovel.
somebody else had been there?
So, should the plaintiff get the money for the tickets, or should he be thrown out of court for being shady?
You should get thrown out of court for being shady, because, like, bitch, bye.
Well, except the defendant got the tickets and shouldn't have, and the car got towed.
Yeah, but if the car's in his name, then it's his car.
That's a really good point. Solid point going inside the courtroom.
They said that nobody else had accessed the vehicle after the car was towed. So when the car was towed...
So it would have been before the car was towed,
Yeah.
if you think he's got it?
Yes, I would believe so.
The owner of the team, did he ever call the police?
He didn't call the police because we both have access to the vehicle. So the police precinct told me that because he has access to the vehicle, meaning another key, then it's not stealing.
That's ridiculous. It either belongs to you or it doesn't. If my roommate has access to the apartment, but if my roommate takes my television set, they've stolen it. I don't know what that means. I don't doubt that they told you that. I'm just saying that they're nuts, and I don't know how it is that the owner of the team doesn't call the police.
Well, also connected to that whole situation is we go to the finance department. I meet him. I mentioned to him that I have most of the paperwork. I only have $1,000. I still need to
How much money were you supposed to have?
I was supposed to have at least $1,400, but I thought $1,000 would be enough to get on a payment plan. They said no. He comes to meet me. I let him know the situation. He got upset. He sucker punched me, knocked me to the ground.
He sucker punched you right there?
Yes, right in front of the information desk. It's a federal building.
Were the police called?
I have a police complaint form.
Let me see that.
And I also have something that indicates I tried to do some other legal stuff. So after he punched me, I fell to the ground. He told me to give him the paperwork back. I said, no, I'm not. Then he said some other things about my kids as he left the building. I go into the sheriff's department right next, not even next door, it's actually in the same facility. I go in there, I fill out the complaint, they laugh me out of the building. Where did the punch land? He gotta hit me.
Did he break your glasses?
No, he didn't break my glasses, but I fell to the ground.
Okay.
They have everything on tape, but they wouldn't release the tape. I don't know what was going on.
Did the police go speak to the personnel there to hear their side, to see what they saw?
No, ma'am.
Did you hit him?
No, Your Honor. This is one of the greatest fabrications ever.
Is it? Because the police report says assault, and then it says, in parentheses, accused seen on CCTV attacking complainant.
Right, but there was no punch landed. What happened, Mr. Gatto snatched the registration from my hand, and I went to snatch it back. He never was hit. He never went to the hospital. Police never got in contact with me. The sheriffs never got in contact with me. It's a total fabrication, and it just goes along with the rest of his irresponsible acts. He's trying to...
What about your irresponsible acts?
Well, I'm not sure what mine are. I'll be honest with you.
You don't? You want me to listen for you?
Yes, please.
Okay, I will. Number one, when your license is suspended, find another place for your car to be besides on the streets, because you're not allowed to have the car.
I did have that.
No. That doesn't mean registered in somebody else's name and share the car with them.
No, but I had it in another place.
Number two, pick the right person, which means do a public records check to find out if the guy has tickets, okay? Number three, if you do in fact have that soccer equipment and are depriving little kids of soccer equipment, that would be really, really horrible. And we have an email from the owner of the team saying that that's what you told him. So those are, so far off the top of my head, those are the three things that are leaving a sour taste in my mouth. Let's talk about the case.
Your Honor, ma'am.
No, we're done. Done. Stick a fork in me. I am done. I have a car that the Blue Book value is not $3,000, as you say. The Blue Book value in good condition is $1,100. I have you suing for travel expenses because apparently he needs to support your travel from now on because you don't have a car. I have you suing for registration, title, plate fee, insurance, and inspection, which is all of the things that you put into the car before him because now you don't have a car because you picked the wrong person to have it in his name. I have you saying to me that you told him that you had $1,800 in tickets. I've got you claiming to me that your only reason for registering it in his name is because you're such a magnanimous guy and you weren't going to be traveling anyway because of your law school entrance exams. That worries me. That worries me as a judge. That A, you would think I'm stupid enough to buy that, and that B, you would cook that up to say in court under oath if you're truly going to be a lawyer. I'm just aghast. I'm stunned at everybody's conduct. You deserve each other. You know what? I find it to be a wash. Because even if I was going to order him to pay you the value of the car, which I'm not sure I would, the value of the punch and the soccer equipment is more or less the same amount. And because I feel that it is so distasteful what was going on between the two of you to begin with, I really don't feel a compulsion to see a victim here between either one of you. I call it a wash.
All right, so plaintiff's out here in the hallway. Judge says shady deal, shady story. It's a wash.
Well, it was a comedy show, actually. It was not a wash. It's a comedy show, and he got away with being irresponsible. That's what I really.
Well, you think somebody else would find differently? The whole story is a little shady.
But the whole story on my side is true.
What about holding the soccer equipment hostage for the kids?
Well, none of that's ever been proven.
Did it happen?
Never happened.
Okay. Thanks. Right around the corner this way. All right, so step on in here, and what's your reaction on this outcome now? You heard what happened.
I have no comment. I'm just surprised at the verdict, that's all.
What do you find surprising about it? Kind of shady activity on both sides.
Well, I know what happened, and I tried to explain that to the judge, but she didn't really see my side of the story, so.
All right, send it to the street in Harvey.
Okay, we've talked about this before. This is a case where it's called unclean hands, where the plaintiff can't come into court being shady and dirty and then ask the judge for justice.